I hope you're having a good day, Year 4. Are you ready for our next English lesson? Good, let's begin. I'm going to start with saying a huge thank you to all the grown-ups at home for helping you get on with your work and supporting us and sending the pictures in. And to all of you grown-ups and boys and girls, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. Now, our learning intention is to draw inferences such as inferring characters' feelings. We're moving on to the next chapter in the miraculous journey of Edward to Lane. So you're going to pause here while you gather paper, pen, ruler, and neatly write out the date and learning intention, then underline it, and we'll be good to go. First, for some word work, you'll need a dictionary and you've got 2 words to look up the definitions for. First word is calloused. Your turn. Good. And the next word is discerning. Your turn. So find out the meanings and write them down. Calloused and discerning, and when you're done, use both the words in a sentence each. Press pause while you get that done. Chapter 8. On land, the old fisherman stopped to light a pipe, and then, with the pipe clenched between his teeth, he walked home, carrying Edward atop his left shoulder, as if he were a conquering hero. The fisherman balanced him there, placing a calloused hand at Edward's back. He talked to him in a soft, low voice as they walked. "You'll like Nellie, you will," said the old man. "She's had her sadness, but she's an all-right girl." Edward looked at the small town blanketed in dusk, a jumble of buildings huddled together, the ocean stretching out in front of it all. And he thought that he would like anything and anybody that was not at the bottom of the sea. "Hello, Lawrence," called a woman from the front of a shop. "What have you got?" "Fresh catch," said the fisherman. "Fresh rabbit from the sea." He lifted his cap to the lady and kept walking. "There you are now," said the fisherman. He took the pipe out of his mouth and pointed with the stem of it at a star in the purpling sky. "There's your North Star right there. Don't never have to be lost when you know where that fellow is." Edward considered the brightness of the small star. "Do they all have names?" he wondered. "Listen at me," said the fisherman. "Talking to a toy. Oh, well, here we are then." And with Edward still on his shoulder, the fisherman walked up a stone-lined path and into a little greenhouse. "Look here, Nellie," he said. "I brought you something from the sea." "I don't want nothing from the sea," came a voice. "Oh, now, don't be like that now. Come and see then." An old woman stepped out of the kitchen, wiping her hands on an apron. When she saw Edward, she dropped the apron and clapped her hands together and said, "Oh, Lawrence, you brung me a rabbit." "Direct from the sea," said Lawrence. He took Edward off his shoulder and stood him up on the floor and held onto his hands and made him take a deep bow in the direction of Nellie. "Oh," said Nellie, "here." She clapped her hands together again, and Lawrence passed Edward to her. Nellie held the rabbit out in front of her and looked him over from tip to toe. She smiled. "Have you ever in your life seen anything so fine?" she said. Edward felt immediately that Nellie was a very discerning woman. "She's beautiful," breathed Nellie. For a moment Edward was confused. Was there some other object of beauty in the room? "What will I call her?" "Susanna," said Lawrence. Just right, said Nellie. Susanna. She looked deep into Edward's eyes. First off, Susanna, we'll need some clothes, won't she? Now, after you've paused and reread the text, you've got to task. The one-star task is, what emotion would you have if you were Edward? So you get to take on the role of Edward the character and think about the feelings you would have if you were him in this part of the story. Would you show the same emotion as Edward? Remember, take your time and you can record the feelings, draw a picture of Edward around him, record the emotions and explain if you would show the same emotion. There's no right or wrong answer. If it's no, then you need to give a reason. And then take pictures to send these off to us. Pause here while you get that done. Now, making inferences is our 2-star task. At the top it says, Lawrence gave Edward to his wife Nellie. Nellie said to Lawrence, Oh, Lawrence, you brung me a rabbit. And then she gave Edward a name. What name did Nellie give to Edward? So, making inferences. We've talked about making inferences in our other Edward Lane reading tasks, and you will remember that good readers use clues. So the writers give us clues in the text. They don't always tell us exactly what it is they want to come across. Instead, they give clues, and the authors use to draw their own conclusions about what they're trying to say. So what clues does the author use that may tell us Lawrence is a nice person, but he may not be too educated? So here we have got to go back to the text. To be detectives, read between the lines, because they are clues. You won't find them word for word in the text, so it means you've got to read and interpret the message and the clues the author's got in those words and sentences. So this is your final task for this chapter. And remember to send pictures of work through to school. And until next time, stay safe, everyone.